Hello students. Today in this video I'm going to teach you how to run cross-tabulation tests along with the chi-square test for significance. This is probably the easiest of the four tests that I'm going to teach you in the next week or two. In SPSS I have our old friend GSS 93 subset that you've been working with most of the semester, and I have these instructions are in the class, for this week, and if you just click on that, then you're going to come to this instruction document. So from the menu bar, you all remember how you ran a frequency, right? Same thing. You're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and instead of frequencies, you're going to click on Crosstabs. And then when the window pops up, you're going to have 2 or 3 boxes on the right, and on the left you will have the variable list. So, you want to move your independent variable into the row box, which is the top box on the right, and the dependent variable to the column box, which is the second box right underneath the row box. Okay, if you've watched the video about how to write your paper, then I have a really good slide in there about independent and dependent variables. So once you have moved your variables into the row and column box, then there are some buttons on the right-hand side. And I want you to click the statistics button. And then when that window pops up, I want you to click or select chi-square, which I believe is in the upper left, and then click continue. And then I think right under the statistics button, there's a cells button, and I want you to click that, and when that window pops up, kind of in the middle, on the left side, about halfway down in the middle, you'll see percentages, and I want you to click row percentage, and then click continue, and then bada bing, bada boom, you get to click OK, and that executes the crosstab test. So all you have to do is interpret the tables, the crosstab table or the cross-tabulation table. It gives you the results of the test, and they are in percentages. A crosstab basically is just like taking 2 frequency tables and cross-referencing them. Describe what's going on in the percentages. Tell me if there is a statistical difference in the independent variable groups. And I think I went over that also in the How to Write Your Paper video. And then the bottom table is the chi-square table. And all you have to do is look in the very first row where it says Pearson chi-square. And look all the way over to the right, and that number is what you're going to use to determine whether the test is significant. That number, like all numbers for all tests, has to be less than 0.05 for the test to be significant. Okay, and I said in the How to Do Your Paper video that, you might run some tests that are not significant. So that number for Pearson chi-square will not be less than 0.05. It'll be 0.05 and or greater. Okay? So that doesn't mean that you have to keep running tests until you get a number that's less than 0.05. My goal in teaching you is just so you'll be able to tell me whether the test is significant or not. So here we are with our old-time favorite database that you've been using most of the semester, the GSS 93 subset. And I'm going to run a couple of cross tabulations for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So remember what the instructions said, to go to Analyze and Descriptive Statistics and Crosstabs. Okay, you can see the frequencies is right there, and I know you've all done a lot of those. So instead of frequencies, just pick Crosstabs and click it. And here's that little window. You can see it has row, column, and down here it has layer 1 of 1. We are not going to use this box at all. That's just for statistical freaks who want to do some power analysis. That's what it's called. But, you know, when you go to grad school, then you can learn how to do that one. Okay, so remember, I'm going to put the independent variable in the row box. So let's let's get race and put it in the row. I mean, this is a terrible variable because it only has 3 categories, but we'll give it our best shot. And what are we going to put it with it? Oh, let's put spanking as our dependent variable in the column box. What we're going to look at, like our null hypothesis would say, that a respondent's race will not affect how they feel about spanking as discipline. So here are all the buttons, and I'm going to click the statistics button. And like I guessed, the chi-square is in the upper left. So I'm going to click that and click continue. And right underneath that is the cells button. So if I click that, remember on the left-hand side, about right in the middle, it says percentages, and you want to click row and then click continue. Bing! And then you're ready to roll. So you can just click OK. And what a crosstab does is it produces 3 tables. This table at the top, the case processing summary, is completely useless. So just ignore it. What you want is the cross tabulation table and the chi-square test table. So here we are with the results of our analysis. You have white respondents, black respondents, and other respondents, which, as you know, is not a very exhaustive list. So, but we're going to use it anyway, because it'll make it kind of easy with only 3 categories. And here is, you know, how much you favor spanking to discipline children. And the answers are strongly agree, agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. So what you want to do to read this table is you want to look down the columns for each answer, right? You're looking at the difference between white, black, and other respondents. So for strongly agree, black respondents have the highest percentage by far. For agree, all 3 of them are pretty much the same, right about 50%. For disagree, black respondents have the lowest percentage, and white and other are right about the same, 22%. And strongly disagree, other respondents have the highest percentage, but there's really not much of a difference here. So if I were running this test for my paper, I think I would point out that black respondents have the highest percentage by far of strongly agreeing with this statement, that they favor spanking to discipline the child. And by the way, I applaud black respondents for this. I was raised in the 60s and 70s. Well, let's see. No, the 60s when I was a kid. And my dad was a spanker. And let me tell you, he put a healthy dose of fear and respect into us. So after he was through spanking, all he had to do was look. And we got in line, bam, like that. Okay? The next thing you're going to have to tell me is whether these groups, white, black, and other, are statistically different. And what that means is that there has to be at least a 10% difference in each column, or actually most columns, for you to say that white, black, and other respondents are statistically different. So in the strongly agree column, there is at least a 10% difference. In the agree column, there is not. In the disagree column, there is at least a 10% difference. But in the strongly disagree, there is not. So this is good that we're looking at this table, because two columns are not statistically different, and two columns are. Okay, so I say that tie goes to the runner, and we're going to say that these respondents are statistically different. And if they are statistically different, then guess what? You get to reject the null hypothesis. And what we said was that a respondent's race will not affect how they favor spanking to discipline children. And in fact, we're saying that there is a statistical difference, so we are going to reject this null hypothesis. Okay? So all of that comes out of this table. This little chi-square test table, we're only using that to say whether the test is significant or not. And here is the Pearson chi-square that you asked for. Just ignore all this other stuff. So the Pearson chi-square, you go all the way over here to the right, where the column says significance. And the number we have is 0.002. Okay, so is that less than 0.05? And the answer to that is yes. So not only do we have a statistical difference in our cross tabulation, but the test is significant. And that means that with a significant test, we can jump from the sample to the population. So this database only has 1,500 cases in it. So let's say the greater population is the city of San Marcos. So with only 1,500 people with a significant test, we can make the jump from the sample to the entire population of the city of San Marcos. Wow, isn't that awesome? I bet you've been waiting your entire college career to find that out. All right, let's do one more. Analyze. Actually, I'm going to show you something right now, okay? See this little button? It's the only button with a green arrow pointing straight down. If you click this, it'll remember everything that you've done in SPSS. So instead of going analyze, descriptive statistics, and crosstabs, all I have to do is click this and click crosstabs, and boom, it comes back up. Now, if you're going to run more than one crosstab, which I expect most of you are going to do, probably not a good idea to click reset, because that'll reset the button selections, and you want to save those. So I'm just going to double click these variables and get them out of here. And then we're going to take religion, right? A respondent's religion, use that for our independent variable. And should we see how they feel about whether grass should be legalized? Nah. Let's go get capital punishment. Cap pun is going to be my dependent variable. I'm going to see how different religions feel about capital punishment. So remember, I did not click reset. My button selections are still in there. So all I have to do is click OK. And remember, case processing summary means nothing. So here's our cross-tabulation window. All of the religious categories are over here. And the two answers for death penalty, you either favor it or you oppose it, are in the columns. And the cool thing about only having two answers is for this crosstab, all you have to do is look at the favor answers. Okay? And there's not really a whole lot of difference here, but you can see that the Protestants have the highest percentage of people who favor the death penalty. Who has the lowest? The other religions have the lowest percentage. So for this table, that would be all you'd have to point out. Protestants highest, other respondents lowest. And then the other thing, remember, you have to tell me whether this test or whether these religious groups are statistically different. And that means there has to be at least a 10% difference in these percentages, which there is not. The lowest is 73.3. The highest is 78.4. That's only about a 5% difference. So you would point out that Protestants are highest, other religions are lowest. There is no statistical difference. So in that case, you would accept this null hypothesis that a respondent's religious preference would not affect whether they favor or oppose the death penalty. Okay, and then down here is our little chi-square table. And this is also good because check it out. The Pearson chi-square row all the way over here, the significance number is 0.747. And hey, you know what? That is not less than 0.05. So, you know, you point out everything that you pointed out in the cross tabulation table. And then all you have to say is that this test is not significant at the 0.05 level. Okay? So since it's not significant, we cannot jump from the sample to the population. Wow, you know what? I did that pretty damn good. And a lot of you are having trouble copying and pasting because, you know, I'm telling you to right-click and copy. Whoa, I don't see any copy special. Oh, this is version 26, so maybe you can click the image and then try and paste special as a picture. Hey, how about that? Okay. A lot of you are not getting the paste special command. And remember, it's way up here, and you got to click this little arrow, and that'll give it to you. And my whole goal with copy special, paste special, is so that the tables look just like they do in SPSS, and they're picture files. So you can go up here and grab one of these circles and hold down the left clicker, and woo, look at it go. Okay, that'd be good for a that's good. That'd be a good size for a paper, huh? Kilpatrick will really be able to see that. You know, whoa, what the hell happened? Look at that, I turned it around. Okay, let's try not to do that. You probably want to make this sucker maybe about this big so you can word wrap around it. Okay, I've been talking too much. If you have any issues with running crosstabs and knowing how to interpret them, email me or drop into an office hour. And if you can't make the office hour, email me and say, hey man, I need a one-on-one. Okay? All right. Kilpatrick is checking out now. Thank you for listening.